Member for West Swan.
The accusation is that you misled the Parliament, Premier. That's...
Member for Girraween. Right, member for West Swan.
The accusation is that you misled the Parliament and the public of Western Australia. This is a man who has lost all sense of perspective. He is completely delusional. You believe lying and misleading...
Excuse me. Don't worry, thank you. I want you to withdraw that statement, member for West Swan.
I withdraw.
Right.
This is a man who believes misleading the Parliament is no big deal. He just said it. No, the Premier just said it. Mr. Speaker, the Premier just said misleading the Parliament, therefore the public, is no big deal. And this is why week in, week out.
Members.
Week in.
Members, Premier.
Suck that one back.
Week in, week out. He misleads this place and he misleads the Parliament. And he keeps recreating the situation. It's as if no one else read or saw what he did last week or the year before. It's as if all records of what he actually said and what actually he did, no one else can see. Every day he recreates what he believes is the truth, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows it in this place. We certainly know it, and I know the other side knows it. Everyone knows that this man, the Premier of the state, completely believes it's okay to mislead the public and the Parliament. No big deal. That's what he just said. No big deal. No big deal. I said the accusation was the Premier misled the public and the Parliament, and he said no big deal.
You might wish you didn't say that.
People may want to wish that away, but it happened. It happened. It happened.
Members. Right. Member for Perth. Call you to order for the first time. Right, I want to hear the member for West Perth in silence.
West Perth.
Swan Hill.
I'm looking forward to the member for Scarborough's contribution to this debate, frankly. So the key issue is what he said about this whole deal, and I remember it. There was a lot of debate about it at the time. There were a number of questions that were raised. You may recall the valuation issue. The valuation. He walked in and said, well, look, the valuation was $95 million. $95 million. There was a valuation of $95 million by the Valuer-General of the state, just by them, the Valuer-General of the state. Now, I believe, when you talk about remediation, you've got to discount by about $30 million. So there's a valuation, $95 million. He doesn't actually ever provide that valuation. In relation to the remediation of $30 million, where does that figure come from? Where does that figure come from? Now, in relation to the correspondence to the Burswood company, it never mentions remediation. I tell you what, it says, we received a preliminary valuation of the 5.8 hectares, but it doesn't, in no correspondence from the Government or the Premier does it talk about the need to discount for remediation. So this is something that was brought into this place. Seriously, you've got your chance. Get up after, recreate the truth. Cover up after cover up that this government is doing. Recreate the truth. We expect it. We expect Barnett world to be happening again, where he's never held to account, he never believes he's wrong, and he never apologises. That's Barnett world. We've seen it again and again and again. Now, in relation to the key point that the member for Victoria Park raised today, and that is in relation to the connection of the sale of the land and the stadium. We heard, and I'll go through it again, that the Premier said in this place on the 27th of September 2012, this government has been scrupulous to keep the issues of the stadium entirely separate to do with issues to do with the casino and the development of the new hotel. He said that. You said that, Premier. No one else said it. We all remember it. It's written. It's written. I remember in the debate on the Barrow Island bill back on 14th of November 2013, and I'll go through it line by line, because he misled the House once again.
Member for Wanneroo.
what we're actually debating now, and I ask that you call her to come back to the matter.
Don't accept that as a point of order. Member for West Swan.
I'm actually debating the actual substance of the motion, but apart from that, member for one, very good point of order. I say in the Parliament, we're talking about the discount. Sorry, from 90 million to 60 million to get access to build a new stadium. We have seen deals upon deals. Barnett no to build a hotel. Premier, I say that was for the hotel, but the government needed to get access to start work on the stadium. The Premier, no we didn't. We own the stadium land. We don't need access from anyone for that. Anyone for that. And I go, stupidly, I must have heard the Premier said something before, so I thought you might be consistent from a day to day. I think you said you did. The Premier, no we don't. I can tell you right now we don't. We don't need to get anyone's consent, permission or anything. And then I say, I know the government owns the land, but under the Casino Burswood Island Agreement Act, and the member for Park interjects, remember that was an entitlement. And I say, you said it was an entitlement, and the Premier said, there is no connection between the Burswood development and stadium. That's pretty clear. There is no connection between the Burswood development and stadium. So surprise upon surprise, when again the facts don't actually match what the Premier claims. Again, from evidence, from information obtained through a court process, we find that actually they are linked. There is a connection. It's in one letter.
Premier.
For the courts, it will be subject to this.
Right, member for West Swan, if you can just be mindful that there are sub judice issues with the matter that's before the court.
Thank you. We can reassure we have checked all this through with the clerk to make sure that we don't...
well, I'm just warning you again.
Yep. So basically, in a letter, the connection is made. The connection is made. Now, the key issue is here. Why does this matter? Well, it matters for two counts. Of course, many of us in this place, maybe not the Premier and some parts of the Liberal Party, believe misleading the public and the Parliament is a serious issue. So many of us believe that. I know it may be an antiquated view, maybe we're old-fashioned on this side of the place, but we actually think misleading the public and the Parliament, as often as happens by this government, is a serious issue. And the other issue is, this is what happens under this Premier. Makes decisions without proper process. He makes decisions where public servants and experts are bystanders, not participants. You don't call upon experts and the public servants to give you advice. You make decisions, poorly thought out, ad hoc decisions, and you've got the rest of the public service trying to figure out how to implement it, time and time again. And what impact has that? Well, first of all, the decisions can't be implemented as originally desired, and then, of course, there's cost issues. Now, again, I know the management of the finances isn't something that preoccupies the Premier or the other side's mind too often, but the conditional costs that your bad processes, your bad decisions are making is extreme. And I think the Serco contract in respect to Fiona Stan is an example of that, where you make ill-thought-out decisions not based on proper expert advice. As I said, experts in the field and senior public servants are bystanders to this government. They're not participants in this government. Bad decision after bad decision, and that's why this matter should be referred to the committee.
Further speakers? Further speakers? Any further speakers?
Well,
question is that the motion be agreed to. Premier.
I'd hate to miss this opportunity, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, first can I say, in terms of, if you like, the bigger picture, this side of the House supports the stadium development at Burswood, and we're doing it, and it'll start construction this year. And Mr Speaker, throughout this, the Labor Party in opposition have tried to suggest all things will be disasters. They've tried to frustrate the process of building that stadium, and they continue. This will be the second largest, but by far the best stadium for fans and players in Australia. And all you try to do over the last 2 years is frustrate the construction of that stadium. I think it'll be magnificent, and this government will build that stadium. It's about the stadium. It's actually about building the stadium. That's what it's about.
Members.
Now, Mr. Speaker, the other aspect is that the Burswood Crown Complex is going to build a 6-star hotel, a massive project. We support that too. We support it. Now, Mr. Speaker, I'm going to go through this in a little bit of detail, but first, can I just quote a couple of